He's gonna blow!
I've been calling you for hours. And then I lost you too.
MTEX once stood as the symbol of Texas pride. Power wrapped in steel, sweat, and oil. But the shine has worn off and the cracks are showing. Tommy Norris thought he could build a legacy out of grit and ambition. Now, he's realizing that every drop of oil comes with a cost he can't pay. The rigs are still pumping, but the heartbeat of the company sounds like a countdown. The boardroom has turned into a battlefield where silence cuts deeper than words. No one trusts anyone, and everyone's pretending they're still in control. But control is an illusion. And in Landman Season 2, illusions die first. Tommy's the kind of man who once believed he could outwork the devil. But in this world, the devil signs paychecks. He's out of the oil fields now, dressed in a suit that doesn't fit his soul. The same hands that once built something real are now signing papers that bury it. He walks through the polished halls of MTEX like a ghost in his own story, haunted by choices that looked like victories until the lights hit them. He wants to be the savior of the company, the man who keeps the legacy alive. But the deeper he digs, the more he finds the ghosts of those who came before, whispering that salvation was never part of the plan. The ghost that whispers the loudest is Monty Miller, the founder, the myth, the man whose shadow still covers the company like a storm cloud that refuses to move on. Everyone talks about his vision, his grit, his empire. No one talks about what he buried to build it. But now, those secrets are clawing their way out of the dirt. Documents missing, deals resurfacing, people who should have stayed quiet suddenly showing up again. Monty may be dead, but his sins are alive and well, and they're coming for everyone who carries his name. And then there's Cammy, the widow who was supposed to fade into silence. In Season 1, grief made her quiet. In Season 2, power makes her dangerous. She walks into the boardroom not as a guest, but as a storm. Calm on the surface, lightning underneath. Every man in that room underestimates her, and that's their first mistake. She's not asking for permission anymore. She's taken what's hers, and maybe more. What began as sorrow has turned into strategy. She's learned that in this world, sympathy is just another kind of leverage. And she's ready to use every ounce of it. While Tommy fights the board fights each other. Everyone wants control, but no one wants the truth. MTEX isn't just an oil company anymore. It's a minefield of greed, guilt, and ghosts. The brand stands tall in public, but behind the polished glass, it's chaos. Secrets are currency, and loyalty is a luxury no one can afford. Deals are made in whispers, and promises are written in pencil, easy to erase when the time comes. It's not about profit anymore. It's about survival. The walls of MTEX echo with ambition. But if you listen closely, you can hear something else. The sound of something breaking. Legacy, trust, maybe even sanity. The same oil that built their empire is now poisoning everything it touches. And as the pressure builds, you can feel it. That slow, ugly unraveling where greed collides with guilt, and everyone pretends they're not the one about to crack. Grief changes people. Power reveals them. And in Landman Season 2, Cammy Miller stops being the woman defined by loss. She becomes the one rewriting the rules of the oil empire that took everything from her. When we first see her, there's no trace of the widow who cried through funeral speeches and faded into sympathy. She's calm now, precise, deliberate, the kind of calm that comes before the explosion. She doesn't speak much, but when she does, everyone listens. Not because they want to, but because they have to. Cammy understands something the others don't. This isn't a business anymore, it's a battlefield disguised as a boardroom. Every smile hides a calculation, every handshake hides a trap. And she's learned to play that game better than anyone. Her grief was never weakness, it was cover. While the men of MTEX were too busy underestimating her, she was learning their moves, their secrets, their fears. Now she walks into those meetings like she owns the air everyone's breathing. And maybe she does. There's a quiet kind of danger about her now. The way she looks at Tommy, not as a partner, not as an enemy, but as a variable. He once promised her stability, but she's seen what stability costs in this world. It costs silence, and she's done being quiet. Every decision she makes this season cuts deeper. Every word, every deal, every smile, a chess move that pushes her closer to the top. And the closer she gets, the more the old guard starts to tremble. Because Cammy isn't just taking power, she's taking revenge. Tommy, on the other hand, doesn't even realize the ground beneath him is shifting. He still thinks he's the one holding the company together, the hero trying to save the legacy. But Cammy's already 5 steps ahead. She's turned sympathy into strategy, and loyalty into leverage. The board sees it too, and suddenly they're not sure who's really running MTEX anymore. The woman they once ignored is now the one pulling the strings, and she's not hiding it. Not anymore. The boardroom scenes feel like duels now. No guns, no bullets, just words sharp enough to draw blood. You can feel the tension in every glance, every pause. Tommy's voice used to fill the room. Now it competes with Cammy's silence. And in that silence, you can sense something dangerous. A promise that she won't just play the game. She'll change it. She's learned that the most powerful weapon in this world isn't oil or money or even control. It's patience. And she's had plenty of time to sharpen hers. Behind closed doors, the alliances start to shift. The people who once stood behind Tommy begin whispering with Cammy. Old loyalties dissolve overnight.